Hey friends, Pastor Randy, welcome to Making It Simple. Always great to be with you. Love kicking off Mondays when we're able to with a brand new lesson. And we're going to continue as we've been looking at It's Over. Or is it? We've been talking about the story of Peter and John out on the water, maybe along with a couple of others in the boat. We've been particularly focusing on Peter as he's really struggling with the internal battle. I messed up too much. And even though things had been made clear with Jesus and things had been corrected in that sense, because this is an incident that took place after the resurrection, but Peter is still unsure. How this relates to us in our daily walk is so abundantly clear. Because emotions tend to guide everything. And they tend to control everything. And so what happens is a lot of times along the way, especially if we've had a major mess up along the way, we really wrestle with getting past that. Even if everything's been made square, the bill's been paid off, the forgiveness is there, whatever, we still have that hesitancy. Well, Peter is really wrestling with the fact that he denied Jesus. This wasn't just, he didn't say just a naughty word or hurt somebody's feelings. He denied even knowing Jesus. And he was heartbroken over his actions because he couldn't blame anybody else. And see, that's the most difficult part of the emotional battle is while we can point lots of fingers all over the place and we can find lots of reasonings and rationales about who did this or that, at the end of the day, I'm responsible for me. Even if I don't know the answer and even if I can't seemingly come to terms with the answer, I'm still the one that has to find it. You can point me to it, but I have to accept it. And so Peter is an incredible example to all of us as he's wrestling with it. So we left off in our lesson last week. We left off, Jesus said, hey, friends, you don't have any fish. And this tells us that this was after a night of fishing. So we talked about again, from the human side of things, we could say, oh man, he's kind of being sarcastic or maybe a little, off color. But that wasn't what he was doing. He was pointing out the obvious. Again, as I said last week, you didn't find what you were looking for, did you? And so he tells him, he says, go back out and cast the net again on the right side. And we talked about how this was not just the physical, geographical location, but rather the right side, meaning where the answer actually lies. The willingness is where the key is in that particular part and where we come in today. The willingness to physically cast it again after having gotten nothing before. That's a mental challenge. Well, I've been doing it online. Why now would it work all of a sudden? I've been doing it for 10 years. Why now all of a sudden would it work? And see, that block goes there. That wall goes there because we have convinced ourselves that it's over. But the question has to remain, is it? Is it over or did I quit? Because there's where the difference lies. Many times when we're told that it's over, and we accept that it's over, guess what? You don't win the game. The score is 10-0. We have no chance, guys. It is the bottom of the ninth, and we've got 2 outs, and there's no way this is going to work. Well, if we accept that, and while that may be true on the scoreboard, with morale may be down, what if I was just watching a game yesterday? What if you've been kind of holding that pattern all through the game, and then all of a sudden the bases are loaded? All of a sudden, your number one guy steps up to the plate and hits a grand slam, and now it's 8-4. Wait a minute, there's a little hope. We still got 3 outs. There's still, and then all of a sudden the rally, it happens. I've seen it. I've been in games where, and watched this. It's amazing. Is it over? Or did I quit? So Jesus tells them, he says, go back out and throw out the net again. Cast it again in a different place, if you will. Casting it in a different place. I thought about this. That changes everything. Because I grew up fishing. My grandfather and I, that was my one thing that I just enjoyed more than anything. And it's still to this day, it brings such great memories to me because that's such a special part of growing up for me. And I remember watching my grandfather, learning from him about fishing, and the location of the cast absolutely matters. We had this enormous place that we're fishing at. It's this big pond that would be our Saturday gathering, if you will, he and I, and go and enjoy that. And this enormous, 10, 15, 20 acre, whatever it is, this gigantic fish pond, beautiful, beautiful place, fully stocked with fish all over the place. And man, it's just an awesome thing to do. But where you threw the line mattered. They didn't bite everywhere. And he taught me that. Watch, he said, no, you go over here and go over there and catch it. They don't bite. He said, there's certain place. And he taught me that. We read that it said Peter and the others, that they cast the net. I'm going to read that to you exactly as it says from Scripture. Jesus said, cast the net on the right side of the boat, and you'll find some. So again, location matters. If you're looking for the answer, not an answer, but the answer, where you find it absolutely matters because it only exists in one place. The answer, not an answer, because an answer can be anywhere because it can be anything, but the answer is only in one place. And I love this. It says, Jesus told them, cast the net on the right side of the boat and you'll find some. So there's an affirmative word there, a promise, if you will, because he's saying, if you look in the right spot, the answer is there. So they did. Isn't it amazing what happens when we actually listen? Hey, put this there and it'll work. Turn this many times and it'll open. And we could go on and on and on with all these different scenarios. But the bottom line is, am I willing to cast the net one more time? It says, and so they did, and they were unable to lift the net. It's amazing, absolutely amazing how much everything changes when we trust God. Now, some people might argue with me on that and say, well, I've prayed and I've trusted and I've had faith and I don't see any answers. But where are you looking for those answers at? See, that's where the difference is. A lot of people try to find their answers in religion. I'll follow a particular pathway, but I didn't find what I was looking for. And that's exactly the result that it will be every single time you look there, because that is not of God. Oh, well, Pastor, I'm telling you, friends, we've created so many things and so much confusion that people don't know where to look. And the problem with that is that continues to expound and continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger because people keep adding more stuff to it. It's just a simple message. Go back to what he said. You've been out all night. You didn't find what you're looking for, did you? That's a yes or a no question. Okay? That's not sarcasm. That's not mean. That's not being a jerk. It's not nothing. That's just factual. Did you find what you were looking for? That's yes or no. There's no in between. There's no gray area. Did you find what you were looking for? Well, no. Throw it over there. Throw it over there. Just trust me. Just throw it one more time. Just one more time. In the right place. Again, I go back to my fishing hole with my grandfather. Andy boy, that's what he always called me. Don't put it over there. Throw it over here. Let me show you. Cast it right over there. And then before long, you're landing that 8-pound, 4-ounce bass. You'll never forget your first one. Friends, I'm telling you, when we listen to what God says, it'll work. Will it work right that minute? Maybe, maybe not. But eventually, your net will be full. I'm not talking about prosperity. I'm not talking about you send me this and God's going to buy you a house, or none of the foolishness you see on TV. I'm talking about finding that peace of mind that says, okay, I can do this. It's over. Or is it? We'll keep talking about this tomorrow. As John told Peter, it's the Lord. What did that mean? I'll let you know tomorrow. God bless you.